You were watching the election, Ice. What do you think about it? I mean, what do you think about who did you vote for, and what do you think about the future of the country?
Well, I voted for Biden, which is strange because in 2016 I voted for Trump, but I don't really like what he's been doing for the past 4 years. So I voted for Biden.
Jesus
You were
Christ.
saying you don't like what he's doing in terms of how divisive he is, right?
Uh, I just think he doesn't talk very well as a president, and he riles people up in anger and causes mayhem.
Yeah.
I think
I don't
we
really, I don't really know about his politics. I'm gonna be honest with you, but he just causes people to get angry and go riot, and I don't. That's not good.
You think that's why people are rioting?
Yeah,
Because of
I do.
Trump?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the way he talks, he flames the fire. He doesn't encourage people to stand down and be like calm. He encourages people to go out and be angry or defend him or
Who do
something.
you think has been more played a bigger role in riling up the American people? Trump himself, or the way the media has like attacked him? Because I feel like the media has been like drilling it into our heads for the last 4 years that Trump is bad, and if you like Trump, you're bad.
Well,
So I
yeah,
feel
I
like
mean,
that helps.
the media is not helping. Obviously, they're not very. They're not good. The media has been very bad and biased for the past 4 years. But Trump should see that and be like, okay, maybe I should word things carefully. But instead, he has no filter and he just goes ball to the wall and just is like, fuck the media. Fucking, where are my people at? Like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a better way to go at it.
I think I agree that he definitely there's times where I hear him talk, I'm like, why'd you say that way, or why'd you even say that at all?
Like last
Uh
night.
yeah.
Yeah, last night is a great example. What'd you think about that, Glink? Where he said he won and everything's rigged.
I think, yeah, he should not have said that. But I was thinking about it a little bit. I guess his logic would be like he wants to get ahead of if like if he doesn't come out with a strong statement, then they're gonna just declare it over for Biden when there could be some instances of recounts being necessary, things like that. So it's almost like a power game. I think the thing with Trump is people were saying this in 2016. It's the real problem is how we got here to where we even needed Trump in terms of like he's the Republican candidate, or where we even needed to be where we are now. A lot of people are saying things like, "Oh, well, let's go back to a boring president. Let's make politics boring again." But I think the problem has been when politics has been boring, no one's paying attention, and then all this stuff is going on behind the scenes that is not in the interest of the American people. Um,
Yeah.
but I will say
Like a
some,
happy medium, I think. You
something
know?
interesting is that you, Ice, are almost like a Trump figure yourself, or were perhaps in live streaming. Like, I think a lot of people who watching you were like, I can't believe Ice did this. I can't believe Ice said this. He's a liar. He's a this. He's a that. You got a lot of the same accusations. Do you see any parallels between that?
Well, I mean, the difference was the people that were calling me a liar were probably fans of me and they're trolling because that's just the community I had. People calling Trump a liar actually hate him with their
Mm-hmm.
guts. So I don't think
Not
it's
to
exactly
mention that like
it's not
you're a
exact
live streamer versus a
right.
president.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's exactly the same, but I'll put it this way. Even with my position being different than Trump's, I still was very careful with what I say when I go live because, if I say the wrong things, it will really rile people up.
Did you find it difficult to, with all the pressure of streaming and all the viewers, to say the right thing all the time?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you say one slightly wrong thing or you say something that just doesn't add up from like a month ago, and there's clips and people just like, they scrutinize you. So I get how it feels. Trump is always scrutinized because you just can't keep track of what you say, and sometimes you just fuck up your words. I get that, but it is his responsibility to know that people are scrutinizing him and to be careful. So, for example, if I'm being highly scrutinized, I'm very careful with my words, and I also don't say, oh, this person hates us, fuck them, let's all go attack them. I never say that sort of shit.
Has Trump said that?
Well, Trump says like, oh, fuck the media, go be poll watchers. He just encourages bad behavior. I never encouraged my viewers to go and, go watch people that hate me and shit,
But it's a difference in poll watching. Like it's something as important as an election. It feels a little more reasonable to be like, hey, if you're thinking that the opposition is going to cheat, then I can understand why he'd be like, hey, go make sure they don't cheat. Whereas like for your haters, it's like, what is there to watch anyways?
Right. But I mean, it's not really their responsibility. There should be Trump, if he's worried about that, he should actually hire poll watchers that he pays to go and poll watch, not get Joe Schmo off the street to go poll watch, because they're going to cause problems. They're not going to be professional. I saw this article yesterday. This guy was arrested for open carrying an AR-15 to a poll booth and intimidating people. He got arrested.
Damn.
So, obviously he's probably a self-proclaimed poll watcher.
Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying. It should be like Trump's responsibility to hire people. It shouldn't be like
on the flip side of that. I did see footage today of a poll station in Michigan, I believe, that they were covering up the windows with, I retweeted something about it. They were covering up the windows with poster boards where the people were counting the ballots, which is like a little bit sus, I would say.
I saw that.
Yeah.
It does look
bad.
It does look sus. But I sort of don't blame them because, in Michigan, they have, Republicans and Trump supporters trying to push their way inside, So on both sides, obviously, it's not looking too good. But
unfortunately, I think
if I was
go on.
Sorry, go ahead.
You go on.
All right. I said if I was counting votes and there's a angry crowd outside trying to push their way in, I'd probably want to not be seen by them too.
It seems like the fact that Biden got elected, and again, not to put Trump as this great figure either, because he has a lot of flaws, but it's like we're kind of not. The future doesn't look good for America, in my opinion. I'm sorry, because we just elected this guy who was vice president for 8 years, 47 years in government. Let's be honest. He's probably not, I think Kamala Harris is going to be the president at some point, whether it's, halfway through his term or before he even gets to the office, if he wins, if it's finally decided that he wins. That just doesn't look good for the future of America. And it also didn't look good that Trump won, to be completely honest, because it's like, why did we even have to get to this point? The way I always view it, just to simplify my political stance real quick, and we don't have to talk too much about politics, but the way I know that things are corrupt and that there's a problem is Edward Snowden, who worked for the NSA, tried to use all the channels to get out that they were spying on the American people. He is now a fugitive in Russia for telling the truth and proving it. And then the people who lied to Congress, they're like working for CNN and stuff, like James Clapper. So it's things like that where I'm like, it's hard to think that we have a true justice going on here.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything is corrupt for sure.
Yeah. But shifting gears a little bit, I was seeing the viewers on Twitch last night, which is obviously where you started out. And I saw Hassan had like 400,000 live viewers covering the election. Destiny had, I think like 15K or something, like, double digits. Streaming in general has grown a lot since 2016. And Twitch has, AOC was streaming on Twitch last week or whatever with however many hundreds of thousands of viewers that was. How do you view the live streaming environment right now? How do you view Twitch? Do you think that it's something that you can get back on? Do you want to get back on it? What is your position on all that?
I mean, yeah, I want to get back on Twitch, of course. YouTube is not really the best streaming platform. They're lacking a lot of things, obviously. So yeah. Now, can I get back on it? Well, I'm working on it, so I'm pretty sure it's a possibility. I'm working on it, so it's just a long process. It's not an easy thing considering the way the way I was banned, right?
Yeah.
Like my ban was very unique, and that causes a lot of issues when I'm trying to get unbanned. So, or like a lot of hoops that I have to go through.
Do you have any faith in YouTube live streaming as the future?
I mean, YouTube is going to be, it's already like a place that you can live stream and you can have success on. But it's all because you can have success on it doesn't mean it's going to be anywhere as good as Twitch ever. And now, when I say as good as Twitch, I'm saying like, when you live stream, in my opinion, the point of live streaming is building a community. And, Twitch has way better community tools than YouTube does. YouTube has no community tools whatsoever. There's no sub chat. There's no follow chat. There's no, there's a sub chat. There's no follow chat. There's no moderation tools. There's no chat logs. You can just make a new account if you get banned in 3 seconds. There's no way to stop trolls or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a long way to go before they catch up to Twitch.
And YouTube's been saying ever since I went on YouTube in 2017, they've been saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this." They haven't done anything.
I remember that. Yeah.
The only thing they did was add tiers, like tiered subs. But it doesn't matter because there's no reason to sub on YouTube. Your emotes don't work in anyone else's chat. There's no fucking point.
Yeah, true. I didn't even know that your emotes don't work in anyone's chat.
If they just made it so your emotes worked in your comment section, I think that would be huge.
That'd be huge. That would be.
But they can't even do that.
It's weird because both you and me are permanently banned on Twitch for very different reasons. And a lot of people since have either been banned or like departnered. It's strange because Twitch seems to have the most influence. And this is something you've talked about, Slush. With your videos. Twitch seems to have kind of the most influence in terms of, not in terms of numbers, like total people using the site, but of 10,000 people watching a streamer, that's worth more than 10,000 views on YouTube by far.
Oh yeah, because like I said, it's the community aspect on Twitch. You can build a community that's tight knit and they're very vocal. I mean, there's been times where I have 5,000-10,000 viewers on YouTube, and the chat, it's just going a lot slower than how it would go on Twitch, because YouTube is just a lot of casual viewers that aren't actually in your community. They just click on you from like a recommended or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really know what's going on. So they're not involved. They're just there watching.
Yeah, the value of a viewer on Twitch is way larger in live streaming than it is on YouTube.
Yeah,
in general,
for sure.
Actually. Has anyone ever been like unbanned on Twitch who was permanently banned originally?
I mean, lots of people.
Yeah.
You know what I've noticed? Tell me if this is true, Ice. I feel like a lot of people that were permabanned and unbanned were girl streamers. Maybe that's not true, but it seems like it is.
I mean, Deller got unbanned after his perm ban like a week ago.
Deller? Who's that?
Yeah, he's he's like a Fortnite and Warzone streamer. He got banned for smashing his keyboard.
Oh yeah, that guy. Okay.
Wait, you can get banned for smashing your keyboard.
Yeah,
What's the logic in that?
Well, I mean, I don't want to like speak for him, but he had a lot of anger problems, back when he was originally on Twitch, and that's probably a lot of the reason why they banned him. Not really because he smashed his keyboard, It
was just like a last straw kind of thing.
Yeah, it's probably just a build-up of many things.
Right, okay.
I view your ban as a moment where it was like a fork in the road for Twitch. And obviously the whole situation that you got banned with the police being called to your plane and all that was like looked really bad on Twitch. So I'm not even saying they made the wrong decision with the ban, but in a certain way, you represented this very free and sort of chaotic, open platform of a community and of viewers and of even what you did on stream. You did IRL streams. You know, that's kind of dead now. Now it's like everyone's sitting at home. They're giving these really, they're playing games. In my opinion, they're giving very like, you know, politically safe takes when it comes to politics, which is huge on Twitch now. How do you feel about the landscape of live streaming, and how have you, because you've changed a lot too as a streamer since then. How do you like the way you stream now versus back then?
I mean, the way I stream now, it's way easier for sure. I mean, not having all the chaos and problems that I had back in the day, it's really nice. Comes with some sacrifices, but I'm totally okay with those sacrifices. I think well, you know, sacrifices like, you know, maybe it goes back to what I said about the community, right? So if I'm not doing insane sort of content on YouTube, it's very hard to grow, you know, your YouTube or my YouTube from just streaming by itself. I have to upload videos, and I'm not really a YouTuber, so uploading videos is not really my forte. But, you know, back then I clickbait something on my stream and I end up in the algorithm, and that's how I got a lot of my viewers, right? Now, if I want to chill, do a cooking stream, play games, do what a normal streamer would do, that's not going to put me in the algorithm. Therefore, I get hit with, you know, less viewers, essentially.
Do you think that'd be different if you were on Twitch?
Yeah, I mean, if I was on Twitch, all, you know, the past 3 years, I would have just been building my community, right? But on YouTube, I'm just building my sub count. Not really. It's not really a community. All of my community is in my Discord, but anyone on my YouTube channel that's not on my Discord is probably just like a casual viewer. They're not, and I can see it in the chat as well, you know, because I can tell there's a lot of people that come in and they just don't know what's going on. They don't know where I've been, you know. It's very like disconnected, you know.
Yeah.
And
I feel like on YouTube there's just a ton more like extra work you have to do to like facilitate community growth, and it's not easy. And I think a lot of, in general, YouTubers struggle with it a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, growing a real community on YouTube is tough. You know, you just grow viewers essentially. You don't really grow a community. Not the way you do on Twitch, at least, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. You have people who watch your videos or something like that, but they're not people who are actually like loyal or like genuinely very interested in what's going on. I mean, there are some, but it's like this percentage is so much smaller.
I'll also put it this way. Back when I was on Twitch, I could stream anything and I could keep pretty similar view counts, right? You know, whether I'm playing games, doing IRL, it was all pretty similar view counts. But on YouTube, it's, I mean, if I do IRL, I'll have literally triple the view count that I do if I'm sitting on my computer. Like that is what I'm talking about, you know. On YouTube, they're more focused on the content and less of the community side and hanging out. On Twitch, they're more focused with hanging out with the streamer.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. It's funny because I tend to battle with this in my head all the time, because do I want a community or do I want content that people like? I think the community sounds really nice, but you can almost be like a slave to the community too. And I think you experienced this a bit. Granted, you know, a lot of your community was maybe a little bit more toxic than others, especially, you know, in the Twitch years. But, you know, there's a lot of like almost responsibility that comes when you have a big community. Is that something you really want? Like, what do you want out of live streaming?
Well, yeah, I would prefer to have a tight-knit community than you know, just views for content, for sure. Like, I was way happier on Twitch because I could actually recognize the people that I'm talking to in the chat. You know, people go in my offline chat. Like, I just recognize people. You don't recognize anyone from the YouTube chat. They're all just randoms, alt accounts, fucking just, you know, no one has their own sort of personality on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like on Twitch, there was always this one guy that would post, you know, this certain emote after everything that he said. And I was like, okay, I know that guy. He's always in my chat and he always says this. and on YouTube, it's not even like that.
So you've been banned for 3 years now?
3 years, yeah. Just 3, yeah.
And are you actively trying to get back on? Are you trying to get appealed?
Yeah, I am actively trying to get back on.
If you get back onto Twitch, do you think that like how much of your new community is going to come with you? I guess it's like all the people in your Discord, right?
Well, most of my community right now, my core community that's in my Discord, they have all been watching me for the most part since I was on Twitch.
Okay.
So probably all of them. A lot of the new people that I got from YouTube, some of them are part of my core community, but most of them aren't. A lot of the new viewers I got from YouTube were just from the algorithm. They're not there to be loyal. They're just there to watch content.
What about Mixer when you were streaming there?
I got a couple of Mixer people actually, yeah, but not many.
It was better than YouTube for streaming though, right?
Oh yeah, way better. I was way happier on there than I am on YouTube. Even with a less amount of people, I was okay with that because you could act. It was like Twitch, the community was very nice in the chat and very good.
I want there to be like competition for Twitch, and it doesn't look like YouTube is really materializing as a great way to do that because it's just not built for it.
Like I said, I mean, YouTube is great for getting success. You can make money and make a living on, YouTube streaming.
Yeah.
But it's not as good. It's not nearly as good. You're going to have less fun.
As part of your new lifestyle, your career at this point, you moved from LA. Well, first you moved from Florida to LA to Texas, now to Austin. Do you know a lot of people in Austin? Because a lot of streamers live in Austin. That's like it kind of feels like the new LA. Do you kind of network with people there? Do you know people, other streamers?
I mean, yeah, I network with them. I mean, I've known a lot of these streamers for years, you know what I mean? So yeah, I talk to them, but we don't really hang out as much because, well, if they're always streaming and I can't really go hang out when they're fucking streaming, and it's very unfortunate. Like, it sucks. You know what I mean? It's really isolating.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously I had that expectation coming here. I didn't come here specifically just to hang out with people. I came here because Austin's a cheap, pretty nice city. So
the rule on Twitch where you cannot have a permanently banned streamer or any banned streamer on your stream really is showing to me like the end game of social media bans. As in, as a streamer, Twitch is your life basically when you're streaming. You stream every day, several hours, whatever. It's occupying all your time. And when you can't have somebody who's banned on your stream, it's like they can't be in your life almost.
Yeah, I mean, streaming's like a lifestyle. Yeah, and if someone's banned, you're going to hang out with them way less because you're always fucking live. So I wouldn't say it's end game, though. I think this is just for live streaming, just because if it wasn't a rule, I could just go on my girlfriend's stream, and that could be like my stream almost.
Yeah.
On Twitch.
That's what Twitch doesn't want, obviously.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like this is not something that's like a proven thing, but I feel like, let's say a Twitch streamer was like buddy with someone from Twitch staff and then like was photographed hanging out with a permanently banned streamer. Like, they would be like, oh, please don't show the Twitch staff friend like this photo or whatever. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've hung out.
They would want to be like, oh, I'm not associating with them, guys. Don't worry.
No, I don't think so. I've hung out with a lot of Twitch staff since my ban, and no one's ever really done that. I've been to Twitch cons where I hang out with Twitch staff while they're working at Twitch. No one is like, oh my god, don't hang out with him.
Okay, that's good.
They're typically just, if anyone says don't hang out with him, it's because they want to stream.
Yeah, that's just like the perception that I get from like the Twitch culture in general. But obviously, it's not true, as you're saying. But like, that's like the vibe I get.
I will say, since I've been banned, obviously less Twitch people want to hang out with me, obviously, but because it's, I'm kind of like ostracized from that.
Yeah.
But it's not as big of a deal as you make it sound.
Right.
Do you want to do the lifestyle of streaming long term? Does that still
Yeah,
interest you?
I want to stream long term. That's why I want to get back on Twitch, because YouTube sucks, and it's like you have an island by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. I can't really collab with other streamers either. Like yesterday I was watching Destiny and Trainwrecks. They're doing like a podcast talking about the election. I don't have many streamers that I can podcast with live, unless it's only on my stream, which is not really how it works. Typically everyone's live at the same time and they talk. If it's like, all right, y'all have to come on my stream, turn yours off, now that's a problem,
You tried to kind of create a network. I mean, the CX network itself, of other streamers with their own followings. And, I still follow some of them. Like I follow Mexican Andy, who was like pro-Trump, funnily enough, actually, last I saw based on his tweets. But, the whole CX network has kind of died off ever since really like your Reddit kind of died, which was your Reddit was hugely a huge part of your community. And do you think that hurt you a lot? Are you happy with it being gone? How do you feel about that?
It's really hard to say. Obviously, me shutting down my Reddit was a huge sacrifice, and it took, it was a huge hit to my community, of course. But I think it was a huge hit to the wrong parts of my community, and I'm okay with sacrificing those numbers. You know what I mean? My Reddit, when I shut it down, was extremely toxic. Nobody wanted to actually hang out with me because they were afraid of getting shit on by my Reddit. You know what I mean? Like that's not cool. If my friends are scared to hang out with me, okay, that's a problem now. Okay, Reddit is interfering with my relationships, my friendships, any work opportunities, sponsors. It's too much of a problem now,
And how much have you noticed like the change in your community since back then?
And it's like a 180, dude. It's completely different. You know what I mean? Like nobody talks shit anymore in my chat. I mean, maybe some people do, but they just get banned, right? You know what I mean? Like they're so nice, dude, and they don't shit on my girlfriend, they don't shit on me, they don't shit on my friends. If I don't stream for a day or two, they don't shit on me. They're not going crazy. Like they just chill, they're just like normal viewers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it from time to time, like, okay, what would happen if I never shut the Reddit down? Well, I think where I'd be right now is I'd have more viewers, but I'd have a way more like just a radical, insane community of toxic trolls, and that wouldn't really benefit me in any way. It would actually just bring me down.
You'd never be able to get back on Twitch with a community like that, I think.
Never be able to get back on Twitch, and never be able to make good friends. Nothing.
Yeah, that's
crazy. Some people are going to disagree with what I'm saying. They're going to be like, "Oh, you can still make friends. Like just moderate the Reddit or something." But no, it was too far gone. It was impacting my life negatively.
What is your relationship with what's left of the CX community, if anything? In terms of the other streamers, I mean,
I don't talk to them. And, I don't talk to them. Well, okay, I talk to some people. Like I talked to Tracksuit Andy, right? Because he was able to bring his own following with him somewhere else and do his own thing, right? So I still talk to him, and he's genuinely a nice guy. I mean, a lot of people I had on CX Network weren't exactly people I would be friends with. They were just like there for the content. Mm-hmm. So, and
what was the mentality behind that? Because the perception was always, and I was there in person many times, the perception was Ice Poseidon's house is just a homeless shelter of streamers. What were you? Did you know what you were doing? Were you just taking it day by day, or how do you feel that was?
I mean, yeah, I know what I was doing. I always had a plan. The homeless shelter thing was just like a meme. It was like funny, because obviously the people on the CX Network weren't exactly the highest quality of people. They were just the content, right? They were just content,
Yeah.
and people liked content, and that's what it boiled down to. It didn't boil down to let's have a nice community. It boiled down to let's have some fucking crazy content.
And now your perspective has changed on that, right? Like on what you want or whatever.
Yeah, because long term, having a community is much more important than having crazy content, right? You can have good content without it negatively impacting your life. And it negatively impacted my life when I did content because most of the content was pretty like edgy and insane.
What would you say was your low point if you had one?
Well, I mean, the mansion was obviously a pretty low point for me because my community was just insanely toxic by that point, and the people that I'd surrounded myself with to make good content were also not helping me in any way. They weren't exactly great friends of mine. The people that I had in the mansion weren't my friends. They were just my content. They were content. So I was surrounded with people that didn't really care about me. I didn't really care about them. I'm surrounded by viewers that are hella toxic and want to ruin everything that's going on because it's either a game to them or they're mad about something or whatever. So that was pretty bad. And that's when I was like, all right, fuck all these people around me. I'm just going to shut the Reddit down, bring over people, my core audience that actually care about me. And we're going to start this thing all over again.
You had a reset. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you learn about like building up a community in a more healthy way through that process?
I mean, just building a healthy community is just better for, long-term career. Because
I mean, like how did you go about building a healthier community? Like what is
so when I moved to Texas originally, the first month or two that I was in Texas, obviously I had like the toxic people were still watching me, even with the Reddit down, because why not, right? It's like in their routine to watch me. So I had to do something about it. Otherwise, my YouTube channel was just going to be completely fucked with toxic trolls. And I wasn't able to stream. Every time I go live, my chat was just disgusting and terrible. And I didn't know what the fuck to do. But I saw, Mixer was like becoming a thing. So I said, all right, I'm going to go on Mixer. So I went on Mixer until it shut down. And that was good because it got the trolls that only watched me on YouTube out of the routine of watching me. And they moved on. So now that's left is just my core audience that actually cares about me.
You keep saying these toxic people. What was some of the worst things that they would do? Because I know there's like these swattings and stuff. What was some of like the most like incessant trolls or whatever you want to call it who just would not stop? Or what were some of the things that would follow you even outside of streaming? Like how bad did things really get with all that?
I would wake up every day with deliveries at my door, mail. I mean, of course, I had, they called the police on me. I had people mailing me illegal things and then calling the police on me. So when the police get there, there's illegal things. Like this one person mailed me a bunch of ammo, right? Like for guns, like big box of ammo. And then the police came and they found that and they thought I was harboring, weapons and shit, dude.
Holy shit.
Christ.
So it's like, oh my God. It got really bad, dude. I couldn't do anything, right? Even when I wasn't live, if I posted on Snapchat or Instagram that I was eating here with my friends, that place would get calls. I'm not even live. I had to hide what I was doing in my personal life because these people kept trying to fuck with me because they thought it was funny, right? And yeah, I mean, now obviously I encouraged that stuff for a while, not ever off stream, but like while I'm on stream, and then people just take shit too far, right?
Yeah.
I never encouraged, like I encouraged calls at some point, sort of. I didn't say call this place, but I'd get calls and I would stream myself answering the call and being like, hello, and they'd be like, Enza Danino, and I'd be like, oh, hey, dude, like I would just,
you turn into content.
right content. The right move would have just been ignoring it.
Yeah. I remember I was talking to someone who was telling me that like don't give attention to the comments that you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of YouTubers, it's really common that you'll see them like tweet out a comment that they didn't like and complain about it. But then that just shows the people who did the negative comment, like, oh, this gets me, like, in this person's mind. This gets me, like, this gets them talking about me. So other people will be like, oh, if I do the same thing, then they're going to talk about me too. And, like, it's the exact, you want to reward the behavior you want to see, basically.
Yeah, I mean, YouTubers, I don't think anyone, YouTubers or streamers, they should never talk about the toxic comments ever because it's just encouraging them.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a while ago, the good example was, Greek. You know, he was getting a lot of toxicity from Livestream Fails, and instead of ignoring it, what he did was just talk about it. You know, he would bring the Reddit threads on his stream and talk about it. That's a terrible move.
Yeah. Adding fuel to the fire, basically.
Yeah, and same with my Reddit recaps back in the day. If the Reddit was bad that day and talking shit, I would still recap it, and that would encourage people to talk more shit about me or anyone, so it gets recapped. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, it would have been a really powerful move if you had just been like, oh, you know what, it's really negative toxic today. I guess we're not doing Reddit recap today. And then people will be like, oh, I guess I don't want to do that then.
That's how I should have started it, like that, when I first started my Reddit. That's how I should have been. I should have removed toxic posts. I should have set that precedent, but I didn't. So by the time it got really, really bad, it was just too late. And if I were to be like, I'm not looking at Reddit today, the chat would just, no matter what I would do, they would just spam like Z's or something. I wouldn't be able to stream.
Yeah.
It would just be, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's important to set a precedent within your community before it gets too late.
Greg, you kind of had a similar problem too, didn't you? Like you had like a Discord server that like you just chose not to moderate, and it got like out of hand.
Yeah. Oh, Discord is Discord's like a microcosm of all that because, and your Discord, Ice, I don't know, I haven't been in there for a while, but I remember there was a time it was super chaotic and like anything goes. I don't know how it is now. Are you managing it well now?
Oh yeah, I did a whole purge and I got rid of all of that. It's super nice now. My Discord at this moment is more wholesome than probably 90% of other Discords.
Nice.
Awesome.
What I was going to say though is that speaking of Livestream Fail, that's a subreddit for someone who maybe doesn't know. Livestream Fail is a subreddit that puts clips of kind of like funny moments, fail moments, quote unquote, basically highlights of streamers on the Reddit, and it's a really popular one. That's kind of one that made your career, I think, or played a big role in it. And you were one of the first streamers to really make it big on there. You were like the face of Livestream Fail.
It helped.
More recently, I've seen a little bit of a clash between the commenters on Livestream Fail and big streamers. Streamers calling it very all the big streamers calling it toxic, disowning it, all that kind of stuff. And then the viewers, I guess, having their own arguments for why they're posting what they're posting or why they're saying what they're saying. Where do you fall on that as someone who gained a lot from it, but maybe also got a lot of headache from it?
I mean, it makes sense. You know, the problem with Livestream Fails, right, is that they are no one person's community. So the streamers can't actually moderate it. And, so you end up with basically a Reddit that is only moderated to Reddit's TOS, but not for toxicity per se. And it just ends up, if the Reddit gets too big, it gets out of hand, Livestream Fails has always like 20, 30,000 people on it at a time posting. That is way bigger than some of the streamers that use it to grow. Therefore, if the Reddit decides we don't like this person that day, I mean, it can get real toxic, and the streamers, can't do anything about it. So I always thought, instead of recapping Livestream Fails like a lot of streamers have done, they should recap their own Reddit so they can, have control over what their community should be, right? What they want their community to be. And I think that's okay.
Encourage the right behavior that way.
Yeah, encourage the right behavior. I think that's okay. People might say it's like I don't know, like beta or something to ban people, but I don't know.
The toxic people would be saying that anyways.
Right. I think it's, if you're a normal person, it's not like you're not going to get banned. So
if you're part of the community, then you're like, yay, because this is the place you go because it's your community subreddit. You know what I mean? So like it's like the people who you want to grow are the ones who are going to like it anyways. So I think you're right. It's definitely like the right way to go.
Something I've experienced while I was heavily inspired by you, full disclosure, with IRL streaming. I thought it was going to be the future, or at least I wanted to make it the future because it was so exciting. You got to interact with people. And I experienced a few really positive things. I think it boosted my confidence. It boosted my ability to just be like funny or entertaining on command, whatever. But something I noticed, and this is why I've distanced myself from it since my ban, is that I was finding myself doing whatever it took to be for content and to be entertaining, despite being very reckless and not thinking about it, and just kind of going with things in the moment. Did you experience that too?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I got carried away. When you have 20,000 people encouraging you to do, be reckless, then yeah, you just end up being reckless. You get carried away with shit, especially when it's your job. Now, I think a lot of that, for me at least, has to do with, like I said, the culture of YouTube being for content and not for community. I think if I was on Twitch, the IRL streams would have been way more laid back because they would have just enjoyed hanging out with me. Because the chat would have been content half the time, not really what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Like when I was on Twitch, I could do like a cooking stream, like at a barbecue at a beach, and people loved it because the chat was funny. But then on YouTube, if I did that, they'd say it's fucking boring, and I think that has to do with
it's all
community.
On your shoulders.
It's all on my shoulders. Now the chat is no longer content. It's all me. The chat means nothing. Community means nothing. It's all on the streamer. Whereas on Twitch, you get a little bit weight off your shoulder because the community can add a lot to the stream.
Do you think, though, that you can... How do you feel about Twitch's rules and the culture around it? Because it feels like you're kind of, not you specifically, now you've toned down your content a lot, but in general, you have to kind of walk on eggshells when it comes to certain topics or certain types of content, even just chatting streams. I think compared to gameplay streams, it's hard. You have to walk on eggshells a little bit with what you say and how you act. Is that a concern? Like if you were to go back on Twitch, how would you feel about that, about the rules and the environment? Would you feel nervous every day?
I would just avoid topics that would force me to walk on eggshells. I would not talk about politics. I wouldn't talk, like, I would just avoid topics that would cause that. Like, I mean, I don't know if, like, for example, what would you consider walking on eggshells? Like, what topics, right?
Well, like, okay, forget about topics for a second. Even just somebody in your chat, or somebody gets to you, another streamer talks about you, all these things that involve interacting with other people. If you just get angry, if you just overreact slightly, if you get emotional, isn't that easy to kind of screw up on Twitch and, like, I don't know, say fuck you and be like, I can't even think of the exact rule you're breaking, but you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. That could be very nerve wracking, and you could be walking on eggshells at that point. I mean, me personally, I've been through so much shit that there is no way anyone on Twitch could ever anger me. What the fuck are they gonna say? I've been through so much shit. There's nothing they could say, bro. I have, my skin is so thick by this point. And if a fucking viewer in the chat is talking shit on Twitch, like, I'll just ban them, right? Like, it's not a big deal.
Right. Do you think that, like, do you worry about let's say you got unbanned on Twitch. Do you think that, like, the people who are the part of your toxic fan base would, like, they would see the news that you're on Twitch again and, like, congregate and try and fuck with you or something?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if I get unbanned, there's going to be people that are going to be like, oh, we don't like Ice Poseidon. Let's try to get him banned. But that's where I come in to make sure that there is nothing that they could do to possibly get me banned. No TTS, moderated chat, no IRL, that kind of shit.
Right.
At least for a while until everything cools down.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And what you said, Glenk, earlier, you said IRL could be the future. It could be the future, but obviously COVID is not helping that cause at the moment. But also, it could be the future, but you have to do a little bit of in controlled environments, right? You can't do public IRL. That's not the future. Because if you get too big, your viewers are just going to ruin it. They're just going to fuck with you. It's gonna end bad.
Yeah, and it's not really fair to the public themselves either.
It's unfair to the public. It's you can't walk into a restaurant with 20,000 viewers and expect there not to, it's either you get stream sniped or somebody's calling the restaurant, or you just become a nuisance to society at that point. You're walking around with 20,000 people basically.
Or you get someone walking in and grabbing a fire extinguisher, as happened to you
God.
in San Francisco.
Just fucked.
Right now with social media, if you want to go viral, I'm gonna go do something to this person and I'll go fucking viral. Like the fire extinguisher guy. So, streaming in an uncontrolled environment to 20,000 people is dangerous.
What about short form stuff like TikTok? Have you tried that at all? Do you have any plans with that?
No, I haven't tried TikTok. It's not really my forte. I'm more of like a long form entertainer. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably do fine on TikTok. I wouldn't enjoy it. Because like I said,
you have a live stream platform there.
Right. But like I said, the thing that I enjoy about streaming is community shit, right? Getting to build a community. TikTok ain't going to build that community. It's just going to be a bunch of kids.
Yeah, definitely.
We are
it doesn't have any. It's probably even worse than YouTube in that sense.
Oh yeah, TikTok be way worse than YouTube, for sure.
We're at a strange point right now, the way I view it, in that because of COVID, because of not just COVID, but just times that are very based on technology, information, entertainment. This right here, this Spaces online, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, whatever social media sites, they are very much essential for any kind of valuable career in entertainment. And yet, I think big tech has more power over what we can say and do more than ever. You're someone we're both people who've been banned from Twitch. We've both experienced the kind of harshness that can come from that. Your livelihood was threatened in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you view this as a very volatile? I know you have, a stream that you got a community. Do you sometimes wake up like wondering, how am I going to keep this going? Do you question your career choice?
I don't question my career choice. I mean, I think about, okay, what's the long-term plan here? But that's about it. It is really, volatile. It is, that's the expectation I had going into it. Right. But that's why community is more important than content, because it's long-term. Content is not long-term.
In theory, like if you have a really strong community, you can go anywhere.
Strong community. It's like making friends. Yeah. Once you make friends, they're probably going to be your friends for a long time because they like you. If someone's your friend because you have a Lamborghini and then you get rid of the Lamborghini, they're probably not your friend anymore.
Yeah.
And that's like the content analogy I made there.
What is your relationship like with your friends now? I imagine your social group has shrunk quite a bit, given that you don't have the CX like house or mansion. I mean, do you feel like the people you know now are truly good friends? Who are your friends now? Like, how is that your social circle looking?
Yeah, my social circle is pretty small. I mean, like I said, the people that I do talk to stream on Twitch. Therefore, I don't hang out with them often at all because they're always fucking streaming and they're busy. And even when they're not streaming, they have shit to do that, they're just busy, right? So yeah, I'm pretty lonely at the moment. But it's okay. I'd rather be lonely than hanging out with a bunch of people that aren't really there for me, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely. Better to have a few good friends than a bunch of assholes.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. Bro, I wake up every morning so happy that I don't have 5 people at my front door trying to fucking stream my face for donations. It's amazing.
That sounds fucking traumatic. Like it's like
Bro,
PTSD.
every morning for a year, I would wake up and there's a crowd of people outside ready to try to make money off me, or they're wanting to stay at my house because they, I don't know, they just want to be my friend.
Go viral or something.
They want to go viral. Yeah, like I was just a tool to a lot of people to grow, and I'm so glad that that's not what it is anymore. Like I cherish privacy, although I do get really lonely sometimes.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Privacy and loneliness. Yeah.
Your perspective is pretty unique, I think, considering that like the heights you reached in like the toxic way versus like the more like humble success you have now. I think that
the toxic stuff, I never wanted it to be like that, just so you know.
Right.
You know, when I was on Twitch, my chat was, I mean, it was edgy with the tryhard memes and stuff for sure, but it wasn't nearly as bad. You know, it was more of like people hanging out than just saying shit that's like edgy and funny. Whereas on YouTube, they got actually toxic. But that's my fault. You know, the one mistake that I made, or the biggest mistake that I made was when the first day I streamed on YouTube, I told my viewers, I said, I really want to succeed on YouTube. I don't know if we're gonna be able to succeed now that we're banned, but y'all can control my life. I said that, and I think it kept viewers interested. But the problem with that is it created like, I turned like into a slave for content, and that got really toxic.
For a while, it seemed like that was true, that you were kind of like a slave to your viewers. But I think a lot of people in your community, maybe they had some legitimacy in saying this, that you also seemed controlled by the people in your immediate surroundings, like your former manager, some of like the streaming friends maybe that you had near you. Was that the case at all, or were things? Did you feel like you were being pushed in different directions by the people in your immediate surroundings?
Only when we were at the mansion. Before that, not really. No, it was the people around me had less of a say than my Reddit and my community. They had way more of a say. You know, if my former manager said to do something and then my Reddit said don't do that, I wouldn't do it.
Do you know what he's up to now?
I don't know. Probably sleeping in his truck. I have no idea.
That was crazy. So why did the FBI go to the mansion? Do you know? Or are you allowed to disclose that? Or
yeah. I mean, I don't fully have all the information here, but based on what the FBI agent told me, he said somebody using my IP address, or he said the IP address that we tracked to this house had hacked like a church and stole money from them online. So they thought I was, I don't know, hacking shit and stealing money.
So someone spoofed your IP address to do that.
I assume someone spoofed my IP address. Yeah, I never got any more information than that. But I told him, I said, listen, I don't need to hack churches and steal their money, okay? Like, why the fuck would I do that?
Yeah, that's so random.
Oh my God. Your life is a movie, man. I'm sure you know this, but your life is, it's one day going to be made into a film. And I kind of want to be
Greg and me.
Yeah, I want to be the one to do it, because it's like the greatest story of rags to riches to, well, I don't want to say to rags again, because I think you still have
to rags. It's to wisdom.
To wisdom.
I think is wisdom.
Definitely not rags, bro.
Definitely not rags, but you had to make big sacrifices to get to where you are without keeping a lot of the baggage, keeping a lot of the negativity.
I think a lot of it has to do with learning the true meaning of like what your definition of success is, because you probably before all of this would have thought that like the peak where you were like super big, but also had the horrible community following you. From outside perspective, you probably would have thought that that was like the penultimate success. Whereas now you probably, I would imagine you're looking at what your current state as a better form of success than the other one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, back then I always thought numbers were king, right? But I realize now, okay, numbers aren't king. If I can wake up every day, be financially secure, and do what I like doing and not have to worry about anything, that's probably way more success than, you know, the numbers at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wake up every day with no stress, no worries. I just wake up and, you know, it's all good. I don't have to worry about anything in life. And that's great. Whereas back then I worried about everything in life. Oh yeah, and like also this, you're probably not going to believe this, but I am probably right now, I'm making about the same money that I did back then, just because I don't spend any money now. Back then, okay, I would make 40K a month. Right now, I make about 10, 15K a month. And, you know, I'd probably make about the same because back then I'd spend 30K a month on content. Right now, I spend nothing. So
that's way better. And 10, 15K a month is like still fantastic. For like the average person doesn't come close to making that much anyways.
I mean, it's still great. Now, it's nothing compared to if I was on Twitch, but it's still great.
Absolutely.
That's really interesting that you gained that much perspective and went through all that. I mean, just piecing together every single part of the story, the craziest shit you've done to where you are now, and just seeing that you're happier. And in a lot of ways, I'm sure your life's not perfect, but that's like really encouraging. That's really inspiring. I think a lot of streamers, well, okay, let me put it to you this way. When you see a lot of these big streamers coming up, you've seen big ones come and go, and you've seen people start from nothing and get to where they are now. Some of them, you know, like Miskiff, good example. He kind of started out his career in your house, one of your houses in LA, you know, and he was kind of like filming for you and all that. And I was hanging out with him too. Do you see their career paths, and do you see it as like something that is there any bit of jealousy or envy there? Or do you almost see it like, I've been there, done that, you know, I don't need to, that's a different lane than what I want to go in?
Well, I'll put it this way. He's lucky to be on Twitch. I wouldn't say there's any envy or jealousy, but I definitely wish that I was on Twitch, and he is very lucky, and he, you know, should just remember that because YouTube sucks. So yeah, I wish I was on Twitch, but that's about it. There's no envy. I mean, obviously I'm very proud that everyone is able to find success. Mm-hmm. But anyone that complains about Twitch while they're streaming on Twitch, they just have no idea. They're so lucky.
You never seemed like the type to view it as a zero-sum game. As in, it seemed like you always wanted to share the success. If there's one positive thing I could say about your homeless shelter is that you weren't trying to be greedy and keep it all to yourself, I think.
Oh no, dude. Back when I would do IRL streams, I wouldn't even have TTS on. And I would make sure everyone around me has their TTS on so they make money.
Yeah.
I was very sharing for sure.
Wait, what's TTS?
Text to speech.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, Asian Andy. What's he been up to? Because I've been seeing him getting a lot of numbers on YouTube and like tweeting about it. I think he's kind of carving his own lane too.
He moved to Austin. He's I don't really know what he's doing. He moved. He lives in Austin now, so he hasn't really been streaming though.
You guys don't keep up?
No, we do, but yeah, he hasn't been streaming. He's just been busy, like just hanging out.
Okay, that's nice.
But I mean, if there's one negative thing that I do think about from time to time, or pretty often actually, is I do wish that people would, I don't really know how to put this, people would understand my perspective a little bit more, because I think there's a lot of streamers out there that they don't really understand my perspective. They just they're just like, oh, Ice wants to get back on Twitch because it's just not working out on YouTube. But it's not really like that. You know, YouTube is just
It's a
too
different
hard.
platform. Yeah, it's a different platform entirely.
YouTube's too hard, you know, and I'm just tired of grinding and you know, for the algorithm. That's all.
I think they don't realize it because they've never been forced to rely on a different platform to try and like cultivate success. They've been fortunate enough to have Twitch and stay on Twitch.
I mean, everyone is on Twitch. They're very fortunate that they have not been able to go, or they've not been through the shit that I've been through. Now, I have an amazing perspective, and I probably have. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I probably have a better perspective than a lot of streamers, and I definitely am like someone that could teach people the right and wrongs of streaming. But that's about it, you know.
Me and Sam, me and Slush are gonna fly down there. We're gonna start filming that documentary.
Yeah, we're gonna do a fucking Sundance Film Festival movie with you on your life. People are gonna understand your perspective, and that movie is gonna get you back on Twitch.
Are you down?
I mean, yeah, sure. If you really, I've had a lot of people say they're gonna make movies about me, and no, they've never come through. So we'll see.
True.
Well, the two of us, we've been talking about it for at least a year at this point, and I don't know if you've checked out my channel, but like doing like the history of Twitch streamers has kind of like been my thing or whatever. So I'm pretty experienced with it. Greg is obviously also quite experienced with it. I'm super down to do it personally.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, the best story ever for the ending to your movie would be if I ended up back on Twitch. That would just be the best story because I have been through it all. I have this amazing perspective, and I'm right back to where I was, but now we can do it over again the right way.
Yeah.
That'd
be very interesting to see.
But
finally, on
now I'll put it this way though: if I wanted to continue doing toxic stuff and I never moved out of LA, I would have more numbers, but my life would be a shit.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a final question about Twitch, at least. If you know, going back onto it, and let's just say that you get there, how would you do things differently than you're doing right now with YouTube? Or would you just do the same thing and hope that, not hope, but like expect that your audience, your community is going to be building up better because it's a different platform? Or would you also change up your content differently?
I mean, my content would probably stay about the same. Maybe I'd be more motivated to do more events and you know, spend more money to do more interesting content. You know, because obviously I'd be motivated. I'm not very motivated at the moment. But it wouldn't really matter what I did because Twitch is a live streaming platform. So when you live stream, you grow your channel. On YouTube, when you live stream, you don't grow your channel. And that's why I'm not motivated.
Yeah.
So, you know, me doing cooking streams on Twitch would grow my channel. Me doing cooking streams on YouTube does nothing for my channel. It just you know, it's just content for my already viewers.
I do think there is some kind of like secret recipe to growing on YouTube as a live streamer because there are a few people who have done it, but I don't know what that is.
I think it's being political.
They all post videos. I mean, who are you talking about? Who only live streams on YouTube and grows their channel?
Well, wasn't Etika a YouTube live streamer? I never watched him when he was around, but I thought he was a YouTube live streamer.
He was, but he also posted videos pretty often, and the videos is what grows your channel, not the live streams.
Why don't you post videos? You're just not into it? You just don't have the patience, the time, the effort?
Well, I would post videos, but my channel's built around traveling, right? I have a travel channel, and well, I can't really travel right now, so I don't want to upload stuff to my channel that doesn't align with what my channel is because it's not really gonna work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the audience won't care.
The audience isn't gonna click on it. So, you know, and if I spam videos that they don't care about for a long enough time, they're just gonna unsubscribe and stop ever clicking on it. So I have to be careful with that.
Now, I don't want to overstate this, but I feel like somebody that has really helped you out based on what I've seen has been your girlfriend. How has that been? And like, how did you guys even meet? If you want to tell that story.
Yeah, I mean, we met in Missouri. She came by and said hi when I was streaming there, and then just we ended up talking. So yeah, she's helped a lot. I mean, without her, I don't know where I'd be at the moment, to be honest. She, because when I moved to Austin, it was hard. Like I was mentally in a really bad place. It's very hard to sacrifice what you've been working for the past couple of years. Like I had to tell myself I have to start over, and that's a hard thing to tell yourself. So, but she helped keep me motivated and helped keep me on the right path. Right? She was like, "Okay, don't worry, it's all going to be worth it in the end," like type shit.
That's amazing. So she's very supportive.
Yeah, really supportive. Whereas other people at that time were probably like, "No, don't do that. Don't move. It's not going to be good for your channel. Don't move." But they didn't see the bigger picture of what I was trying to go for.
Yeah, they were looking at the short term only.
Yeah, and I short term, like back then, most of my money came from donations. I didn't really get many sponsors because my content was too edgy, and I never liked living off donations. It's really scary. It's really short term. You don't know what your next month is going to look like. It's scary.
Inconsistent.
Whereas, that's why Twitch is another reason why they're a better streaming platform. You have a sub count. You know exactly how much money you're going to make that month. You don't have to worry about it.
It seemed like it was almost impossible for you to have a relationship when you had the Reddit going, when you had, your old community. Is that something that helped you actually have? Because how long have you been with her now?
2 years.
Do you think that would have even been possible with Reddit and with all that other stuff?
No way.
Well, technically, it started during that time, no?
It started during that time, and it was stressful. It was not good. But it wouldn't have lasted this long with the Reddit. It would have just been too stressful, and eventually either I would have cut it off or she would have cut it off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she probably would have been harassed, called names, slandered. Reddit posts saying she's a whore. And that gets upvoted, shows up on Google with her full name. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
And why would people do that? I mean, really, to be funny. Like there was no other reason. I mean, people would just do it when if she says one wrong thing, she's forever a bad person. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it's
when I think about makes me think of Blue, like Reckful's ex-girlfriend. I feel like she got like a disproportionate amount of hate from his community. Like I get that she did things that were like easy to not like, but like I just saw how she was someone who wasn't an influencer or anything like that, but she just got exposed to like thousands and thousands of people just constantly hating on her. Every time she showed up on a stream, they would just like the puke emoji or whatever, and like I don't know. When I saw it, it made me feel really bad.
When you're not an influencer, you don't know how to act in front of a crowd of people, and you say things that are gonna, you just say things that piss people off, and it's not fair to them because it's not their job to be an influencer, so it's not fair.
Yeah, they didn't sign up for any of it. They just were on camera and said something that happened to be wrong.
So it's really so it was really isolating for sure. Like the Reddit was kind of like it's like a girlfriend, dude. They got really, I would assume maybe it's jealousy. Like if I were to not stream to go on a date, they would lose their mind.
Yeah. That's a horrible relationship to have.
That's how I feel about any type of celebrity or even president, politician, whatever, when they're heavily scrutinized, when they're heavily in the eye of the media, partially by their fault, partially by just that's what people want to watch. I think about how it's like, it seems impossible to manage that when you have so many eyeballs on you, being so scrupulous of everything you do, and no one's going to be perfect. It's easy to paint you as, I think I would see this on your Reddit a lot. Like Ice, he did this, remember this, like they keep a record of every single thing. And it's like the worst relationship ever. Like as if you're with someone who's going to bring up every minor thing you do when that's not all of who you are. And you would, dude, like when we would, because we've hung out a couple times, you would be on Reddit all day. Like after a stream, you'd just be scrolling on your phone.
It's my life, dude.
Yeah.
They were my they were my moral gauge, right? And that's not good, obviously. You can't have a bunch of trolls online be your fucking moral gauge. But at the time, that's all I had, right? That's all I knew. So
But you have to go through that to figure out that it was wrong, that it was
right.
bad.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't have that. Like, a lot of people learn things slower or later in life because they don't go through so much so fast. And so in a way, it's almost like a blessing that you had such a shitty experience, because now you've like grown so much from it.
Well, and also a lot of streamers have learned a lot from me by watching me.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They've learned what to do, what not to do. You know, like it's very, like I said, I mean, very important to have a good community and not just numbers. A lot of streamers learned that probably from me, because I was the only one that really just did whatever the viewers wanted. So
Yeah, you really demonstrated the toxicity of letting random people online control you.
if you ever let your viewers control you, it will always end up turning toxic, no matter what. You have to take control as the streamer of your community. If you let the viewers take control, they don't have your best interest.
What was your favorite event or moment or stream, even though through all the chaotic times, that you remember?
I mean, I don't know, probably the first RV trip. That was fun.
That was legendary. Watching that was legendary. That was some of the most entertaining live stream content I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was pretty fun. I mean, the second one was less fun because it was uncomfortable. There was like nearly 20 people in that fucking RV, but the first one when there's only like 5 of us was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. I remember the date night you had with Geisha at the time. It was like all these events. It seemed like it was almost scripted, but I don't think it was to that extent. Like last minute, you're shaving, you're putting on a dress shirt, and then you're getting like a candlelit dinner, and all those things are kind of coming together. I thought that was so cool. It was like watching a live romantic movie unfold. And you just don't see stuff like that anymore. You don't see anything like that on Twitch or YouTube for that matter. It was like reality TV, except less scripted and not cut a million times.
Yeah, like actually real.
Well, I think that you don't see that anymore because it's not profitable. Okay, 40K a month sounds like a lot, right?
Yeah.
But at the same moment that I was making 40K a month, other streamers were making triple my income doing literally nothing. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's people don't do it because it's just not profitable. IRL, making stories, none of that shit's profitable. And it just, and when this is your career, you want to make money, right? So I didn't care about making money. I just wanted to have content that was insane and legendary. I never really cared about making money per se. It's just like a bonus.
I think a mentality that you had was something like you want to make every single moment of the stream as entertaining as possible. And that's something a lot of people do now. I remember the way people used to talk on stream was very like, just, I don't know, they would phone it in. But when you came around, the scene changed from like every moment, even from your RuneScape streams, this started. Every moment had to be engaging, entertaining. I don't know if you planned it that way from the start. Like, I did. You did? Okay.
I started when I first started streaming. I said, "Wow, I could, this doesn't like I could do this." Like, a lot of streamers aren't really being entertainers; they're just playing games and talking. I want to be an entertainer.
Who were some of
your
inspirations?
You kind of pioneered that.
I mean, an inspiration. I mean, I remember when I first started streaming, I watched a video from Tim the Tap Man on like tips. And I took those tips, so those were good. Because I think Tim's an entertaining streamer. I don't remember. I don't remember what the tips were, but they were. I mean, it's so long ago, like 5 years ago. But I just remember watching his video and taking his advice.
Interesting.
So looking to the future of not just your stream, not just your career, of live streaming in general. how do you feel about the way it's going? It seems to be pretty political right now. Obviously, the election, well, the final results aren't in, but it's looking like we're going to have Biden. Do you think that the future of live streaming is going to look a lot different than the past 5 years have been? Where do you think it's going to go? Do you have any guesses, any predictions on that?
I mean, in a couple of years, a lot of big companies are going to start taking advantage of live streaming, and they're going to probably start live streaming like their TV shows or, something. But it's not really going to look that much different, man. Live streaming's not as profitable as other forms of entertainment, so it's going to be a while before
But the
corporate.
influence, it's all about the influence. It's not,
Yeah,
that's why the corporate. Like I actually just did a video like a month ago talking about the influence of Twitch, and one of the things I said was that it's going to become. There's going to be a lot more celebrities streaming on Twitch, and it's going to be a lot more corporate content on Twitch, like big live events, reality shows, and stuff like that, because they're going to realize just how influential live streaming is versus other mediums. I think it's really a big.
I agree with that. I think you're right about that. That's not going to be the majority of streamers, though, but that's going to happen.
Has your lifestyle personally off stream, forget about content, have you what have you taken up? Have you done exercising more, eating healthier? Are you meditating? Are you any new things going on there? Hobbies?
No, not really. I just play video games.
Playing RuneScape?
Yeah, the RuneScape or whatever, video games.
Yeah.
Just living a normal life without all the stress, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I do also, think of ideas to do for my streams and stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's good. Keeping it simple.
Nice and humble.
Interesting.
But you asked earlier about my future. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully I get unbanned on Twitch because I don't enjoy streaming on YouTube. So I don't think you're going to catch me 5 years from now streaming on YouTube. I don't enjoy it.
So you think that if you don't get unbanned on Twitch, you're going to eventually just stop streaming?
I'm not going to just stop streaming just like that, but I might look into other avenues of what to do with my life. And if that just takes over my time, then, eventually you just stream less and less and less until you stop.
Okay.
I don't want to do that. I mean, I don't know. Just find. No. I don't really. I don't know,
something,
but
being an entertainer, I would assume
something like that. Yeah, opportunities will come. Let's say I start a podcast. Now maybe I don't stream anymore and I just podcast. Shit like that.
That'd be cool. I'd listen. Break the ice with Ice Poseidon.
Now that's the kind of live streaming thing that probably grows well. Like obviously, like you were saying, you can't just live stream to grow on YouTube, but I bet that if you had a podcast and you just uploaded the podcast VOD afterwards, that would probably grow pretty decently on a platform like YouTube, especially since it's long form content.
But the most fun I have is by streaming. So hopefully I can continue streaming. But like I said, if I'm forced to be on YouTube, I'll probably figure something else out because I don't enjoy streaming on YouTube. It's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Have you looked at other platforms
Well, I've streamed on Mixer, DLive. I've streamed on other platforms.
What do you think about Facebook?
They're not a streaming platform.
I mean, they have this guy's toast on there and stuff.
It doesn't matter. Their platform's not good right now.
Instagram
they need to
Live.
I've literally never used it once haven't even been on Facebook in a year at least, but I have no idea what it looks like as a live streaming platform.
They have their real names in the chat. It's like a Facebook comments, but in a chat room. It's super whack.
What about Live Me?
No, bro. These are just short-term things for money, dude.
Yeah, cash grabs. I mean, you made a lot off Live Me, though, right? They gave you $1 million deal. Is that true?
Yeah, but my viewers sort of ruined that after 3 months because they kept hacking the website. But I made about $50K a month for 3 months, so it's whatever.
I don't think anyone has had anything close to the kind of fan base you had, the kind of community you had. It was like a force all of its own. Where are they now? Do you know? Like, are they in other streamers communities? Have they
Oh yeah,
dispersed?
no, they are. Yeah, so a lot of the toxic crowd, I think they were only toxic around me in my community because that was just the vibe of my community, right, at that time. But I've seen, a lot of people, they'll watch XQC, Mizkif, Greek. They're not gone. They're still there. They're just
Acting normal.
they're just acting normal. You know what I mean?
Sleeper cells. They're waiting for Ice to come back so
Oh
they
my
can hack
God.
Twitch.
Now, I will say, if I get unbanned, I am a little worried that some people will be like, "Oh, let's go spam try hard," and it's back. It's like 2017 again. No, that's not how it's going to be. If I get unbanned, it's going to be the same way we are now. We're not going to have any of that. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
fear.
but I mean, I think if you're like banning all the people who are acting like that, eventually they're gonna give up.
I know, but I'm just saying the first day or two might be a bit wild.
Yeah, you'd probably have to tell Twitch that, be like, listen, guys, first day or two, there's gonna be like probably some people trying to pull some shit, and I'm gonna do my best to handle it, but like, please don't like make any decisions right off the bat.
Well, I mean, if it really got that out of hand, I'd probably just put it in like sub only mode or something.
True.
If it's like so many people we can't ban,
Yeah, true. That makes sense. And that's why Twitch is better than YouTube, because it has shit like that.
Yeah, on YouTube, if I want to stop my chat from being AIDS, there's nothing I can do. I can put it in member only mode, but nobody fucking becomes a member on YouTube because there's no perks, there's no reason to, so it's kind of whack.
Yeah.
If you get unbanned, put in a good word for me as well.
To be honest, Glink, you could be unbanned right now. I don't know why you haven't tried.
I've sent an appeal last year. No response.
Have to do it again.
Maybe.
You have to keep doing it because they have a lot of appeals that they go through, and sometimes maybe they miss yours or something. You have to keep doing it. You 100% could be unbanned because you didn't do anything major.
Here's my theory. You can tell me if you think there's any legitimacy to this. I'm curious to know. I think because Twitch, they say they monitor your presence on Twitter, other sites, off-site stuff, if you're a partner, I think they also deal with bans that way. Like, if I'm putting out a bunch of videos on YouTube where I'm like kind of being critical of Twitch or whatever, I don't think they're going to be liking that. They might not want me back on their platform.
I don't think that matters too much. Deller got unbanned a week after he made a tweet saying Twitch is full of fucked up, terrible people. And he got unbanned.
Hyphonics is unbanned too, right? Or is he still on YouTube?
No, he's banned, yeah.
Oh, shit. Really? What's he banned?
Yeah. He said the M word.
He said the N word? Or the M?
The M word, like mom, the M word.
M word. Oh.
Moron? He said that word.
The M word.
The fuck's the M word?
Look at the chat. I posted it in the chat.
I can't. I'm going to have to.
What? What the hell?
Oh, no, that's like a bad word, I guess.
I know what the word is, actually, now that you brought it up.
Is that not just the name of people from a certain country?
I don't know, man, but that's what he got banned for, I'm pretty sure.
What?
So
hold on a second.
The word is Mongo.
People from Mongolia. I'm Googling that.
It is kind of a slur. It is kind of a slur, technically.
What do you call people from Mongolia?
Mongols.
Mongols, yeah.
Or Mongolians.
It's like
a that M word.
Yeah, no. It's like a bad word to Mongolians or something. Yeah.
It's funny because when I Googled it, that came. It says the Mongols in brackets Mongolian. That's a bad word. How's anyone supposed to know that?
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't know that. So
that seems really unfair that he got banned for that. Like, I doubt anyone knows that.
So
unfortunate.
For full disclosure, what I got banned for was saying the F word. I'm going to say it right now. We're on YouTube. It's fine. I said faggot.
Starts with F and it rhymes with baguette.
And the reason I said it, perhaps a little bit irresponsibly, I was kind of drunk on stream. I was like, you know what? The origin of that word, let's talk about it. It's not actually about gay people being burned at the stake. And I was trying to destigmatize the word because the way I grew up saying it was not against gay people. It was nothing to do with gay people. It was just that person's a faggot. Now, and whatever. And I got banned for saying it a few times in that context on stream. Ice, you had back in the Twitch days, N-word bombs being dropped in songs. Even back then, your community was finding ways to, like, left ear of the headphones would play the N-word, and then the right ear was just the music, so you only heard one part of it. There was a lot of that going on, okay? I know that you're not going to be harboring that kind of community. That's not your goal, but what is your stance on, like, this whole hate speech stuff, definitions of hate speech? Do you think it's gone a little overboard? Do you think, I mean, you're a victim of it. I am too, in a way. How do you feel about that?
I don't think it's overboard. I mean, if you say the F word, it's offensive, you know, even with, I mean, if you say it within some sort of context and you're debating or something, I don't know, man. It's just, they just don't want people saying those words. And I get it. You know, they want to keep their, you know, their ads, their sponsors. They don't want people getting offended, you know?
Yeah.
You just got to stray away from that kind of stuff.
There's obviously, like, nuance and context, but it does seem like if you're in a position of like a Twitch or any kind of company like that, like, they're just going to be very black and white about it because it's like a zero tolerance thing. And, like, I'm on your side, Greg. Like, I don't think that's a good thing. I get why they're doing it. I don't like it, but I don't think it's going to change, unfortunately.
It's not going to change. It's, you know, you just got to just live with it.
Yeah. It just seems like the more we stigmatize these words socially, forget about policy or whatever, it gives them more power. So it just seems so counterintuitive to put them on some holy level, even in context. Like, sure, saying it offensively to someone, I could see that, but if you're just discussing it, that seems absurd that you can't say the word like it has magic powers. It doesn't. But anyways, I mean, that's obviously, I guess that we've lost that battle now that social media controls what we can and cannot say.
Sort of.
And
depends, right? I mean, you felt comfortable saying, like, we were able to say Mongolian and faggot in this podcast, which is going to be on YouTube. So it's not like across the board. You know, we could even say the N-word in terms of YouTube's eyes, and it wouldn't, like, we wouldn't get banned from YouTube. We'd just get ostracized from, like, the people who watch us or something like that.
Which is one thing I have to give YouTube credit for. I don't know if you feel this way, Ice, but it feels more, not that YouTube's perfect, but it feels a lot less strict than Twitch in terms of what you can say.
It is less strict. And, you know, there's a reason Twitch is very strict. It goes back to the community thing. You are much more of an influence on Twitch to your viewers than you are on YouTube. And if you start saying the F word on Twitch and it becomes normalized, your viewers will too. And that's bad.
That's a good point.
Whereas on YouTube, no one's really going to get influenced by you. They just comment, they watch, they comment, they leave. And it makes, I understand Twitch's, you know, what they're doing. You know, they just want to make sure communities don't get out of hand. I get it.
No, it makes sense. It's a good point. I didn't actually
because also, let's say a giant streamer on Twitch normalizes saying the F word and their viewers say it. They're very intertwined with all the other streamers. The viewers are going to start saying it in other people's chats too. They're very, you know, YouTube, the viewers are not very intertwined. That's the huge difference there.
Although one thing I think is funny is that they're not consistent with that, though. Like, if a black guy says the N-word, Twitch is fine with it. But then the question comes, well, how do you define black? Like, some people who are half black, maybe white passing, as they say, or whatever, are they allowed to say it too? Like, that's where it turns into a weird gray area for me, where it's
kind of an optics thing.
It's like white people on Twitch, let's be honest, white people on Twitch deciding if someone is black enough in certain cases to say the N-word. It's kind of insane in that case.
I feel like it's one of those cases where, like, they don't want to tell, like, it would be super fucked up for someone to be like telling a black person that they're not allowed to say the N-word because of the way the word is so controversial and stuff. So it's like, well, we're just not going to touch that kind of thing.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, but it's just creates a weird situation. It's kind of.
I agree. It's the point you said about white people deciding who's black enough to say it. Like, that's so fucked.
It's the world we live in.
I'm not happy with it.
Yeah.
You know, inconsistencies will always be a thing. Anywhere.
Yeah. I think it's important for this is like one thing I like about YouTube is that I think it's important to have voices like speaking out against that sort of like corporate decision on like hate speech and all this kind of stuff, and addressing nuance and trying to like enlighten people on that type of thing. Because like I really worry about what happens when you silence all those voices, you know? Like what's like is the how strict a platform like Twitch is, like, is that just like the beginning? Is it going to get like worse and worse and worse until like everyone has to be like the most vanilla person ever? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I feel like is happening with Twitch. I see all these big streamers, and I'm like, these people compared to Ice are so tame. Well, Ice back then are so tame, boring, vanilla. That's the way I view it personally as a viewer.
Well, yeah, I mean, they don't want to lose their career, of course.
Yeah.
No one's going to stand up to it. Like, why would they? You know, what do they get? What benefit do they get?
The only people who will stand up to it are the ones who are either not going to be penalized for it or who make their career out of doing that. And they won't exist on Twitch. They'll exist on other platforms.
Very rapidly, the opinions of most big streamers on Twitch becomes very homogenous. I've noticed this with a lot of big streamers.
I will say this. One streamer that comes to mind, Pay Money Wubby. He's pretty edgy about stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen that. He did that, like, he got banned. He like did an IRL stream where he went to a restaurant, but he called ahead of time and made sure they were okay with it. But he got banned anyways, and it was like at a really crucial time in his streaming career where he like lost out on a fuck ton of sponsorships because of it. And then they realized that they made a mistake and unbanned him and sent him like a 1-sentence apology. And so he did this like skit live where he's pretending to be Twitch staff and he's like just smashing up everything and just like it's like if you haven't seen it, it's fucking hilarious and it's so edgy. And like he's just like the shit he's doing. He has like a little like black baby doll. He's like, oh, black baby, and just like smashing it and shit. Like it's insane.
Yeah, sometimes Twitch is really quick to pull a trigger, but
they let him do it for whatever reason.
What's your relationship like with your parents, Paul?
I mean, just normal. Just, you know, I mean, I don't talk to them that much, but, you know, I don't think many 20-something-year-olds do. You know, when you move out, you kind of want to be like, do your own thing for a bit, you know? So I have a normal relationship.
Has it improved over time?
Yeah, it has. It's, you know, I have a better relationship with them now than I did when I was a teenager. That's for sure.
Do you do any, I saw you hitting the vape earlier. Do you engage in any recreational drug use from time to time?
I just smoke weed, bro.
Okay. I remember there was this big rumor. You don't have to tell me if it's true or not. People were saying you were snorting lines and shit in the RV. I don't know. You don't have to. I was
not. No, I've actually never done coke in my life.
Okay.
Whether you believe it or not, I know that was actually a part of a big problem that I was having with my community back then. They could just say whatever they wanted. It gets upvoted, and then people just believe it.
True.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that shit, bro. Like, I've never done coke. I've never done half the shit that they say. But people, you know, here we are now talking about it.
It's legal in Oregon, by the way, now.
It is, yeah.
So is heroin.
It makes sense. It's just because at the time, since you were doing crazy stuff all the time, it's like, why not believe it, you know?
But that was, you know,
that's how crazy
not
things
good.
get. Yeah. No, it's not.
Here's the real rumor that I think people want to know about is, do you really show people your dick when they first meet you at your house?
Not everyone, no. I've only shown my dick to a couple of other friends of mine.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't.
I'm not showing my dick to random viewers because they'll just take a photo. They'll just take a picture, you know, like fuck that.
Yeah.
What is the logic behind that? You just like get comfortable.
It's just funny, yeah. Like when Greek came over, I show my dick to him, and he shows me his dick, and it's just funny, right? It's like a joke.
You guys just laugh at each other's dicks. Well, I think that's a great way to end this episode. So let's all stand up and no. No, Ice, thanks for being here, man. Taking some time out of your busy schedule. I know you stream. I'm serious about the documentary, man. We're gonna make it happen.
Well, when are you coming over?
I need to go to Texas.
Travel is more feasible.
I could go to Texas myself as an ambassador, maybe before the end of this year. I think I can.
What do you mean? You live in the U.S. You can just buy a ticket to Texas.
I know. Yeah.
I'm a little bit fucked because I'm Canadian, so I can't quite get. It's not easy for me to get to the U.S. right now.
We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen for sure.
It's gonna be on Netflix or.
It's gonna be in
Amazon.
film festivals, man. It's gonna be
Amazon
in theaters.
Prime. Yeah, COVID theaters.
It's gonna win.
I wonder how this movie is gonna go. Is it gonna be like actors, or is it just gonna be like a documentary? Like you just
it's documentary.
No, we're gonna obviously. It's all gonna be dramatization. We're gonna get someone to act as Paul.
Andy Samberg playing you.
Yeah, and to just recreate every moment of your life.
Gotcha.
You're gonna have some creative input here and there, but really, you're just gonna be signing away your likeness to.
Yeah.
No, I would like to do a documentary where we sit there, interviews, lights on. We bring in old characters. Bring in Kyle. He's like breaking down, having a meltdown, talking about you.
Good luck trying to get these people to Texas.
We'll find a way.
We'll go to them.
That'd be good. Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans, all thousands of them watching this, that are going to be watching this, for your future plans?
Catch me live on YouTube. I don't know.
Okay.
What's the name of the movie? Catch Me Live.
Words of wisdom. Yeah, no, thanks for being on, man. This has been great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.